Don't you just love the smell of eclipse season in the air? That's just a joke, by the way. Today we're going into eclipse season, and some say it's a window into a new timeline, while others regard it as a time for massive change, for important endings, and for new beginnings. The Pisces lunar eclipse asks us to release what no longer serves us, to let go of the burdens that have kept us tied down, and to finally break free from the illusions that once held us back. It's a call to surrender, to clear space, and to move closer towards the dreams that are truly aligned with who we are. The Virgo eclipse, on the other hand, opens a door into transformation. It pushes us to change the way we think, the way we approach our daily lives, and the systems that shape our well-being. Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury, brings clarity to our thoughts, balance to our mindsets, and the ability to rewire how we approach life itself. And because this eclipse is happening at 29 degrees, which is the final degree of the sign, also known as the anaretic degree, it almost carries like a sense of urgency, asking us to get ready for a new cycle to emerge in our lives. And together, these eclipses create a story of release and renewal. It's like you're cleaning out your closet and getting a new metaphorical wardrobe. It's about letting go of illusions while grounding ourselves in new patterns that bring health, prosperity, and wellness and purpose into our lives. And so this is your September 2025 eclipse astrology forecast. Whoosh! And I will walk you through what this energy means for you based on your rising sign so that you can see exactly what areas of your life are being activated. And then, because Virgo is ruled by the planet Mercury, we'll look at your natal Mercury placement by both sign and house to understand how your thoughts or your mindset and communication are being influenced. And since Pisces is ruled by Jupiter traditionally and Neptune in modern astrology, we'll also explore your natal Jupiter Neptune placements to reveal how your dreams can expand and where illusions may be dissolved. And if you're ready to dive in, please give this video a like and subscribe just to let the algorithm know that this video is your jam. And also leave a comment down below talking about what you hope to get out of this eclipse season. And it also just helps you be ready and subscribe so that you can see more important forecast videos or detailed astrological tutorials in the future. And so first, I will briefly discuss the eclipses and how they are being aspected by other bodies in the sky to give us a better idea of the flavor that these lunar and solar eclipses will be taking on. And then once we do that, we will get into the forecast based on your placements, since we know that's what you're really here for. And so now let's start with this breakdown, and then we will get into the forecasts in 3, 2, 1, go. Here, I will be discussing the story that is this eclipse season, so buckle up, get your popcorn, or if you don't like popcorn, get whatever snack you want, and let's get ready to change our lives. Because the first chapter arrives on September 7th with the Pisces lunar eclipse. This is a moment where kind of like the emotional swells will hit us in the face and say, hello, I am here, you cannot ignore me. So we all may feel a little bit on edge, but that's okay, because with the moon in Pisces conjunct the North Node and trining with Jupiter in Cancer, we're asked to release the illusions and emotional burdens that have weighed us down for so long by confronting it instead of ignoring it. It's a clearing of old patterns that no longer serve our path forward, opening space for renewed faith, compassion, and growth. The opposition from the Sun and Mercury in Virgo to the lunar eclipse shows us where we've been too perfectionistic or mentally rigid, holding ourselves to impossible standards, or getting stuck in the details. Under this eclipse, these demons that some of us will face, no matter what those demons are, will need to be released if we're going to properly improve our lives. It's like the realizing that micromanaging every outcome has only drained us, and that by loosening our grip, we're actually moving closer to the life that we're meant to live, because maybe, just maybe, this is a little crazy, but not being hypervigilant or truly caring for yourself and being kind to yourself may just be the solution to performing or communicating and thinking much more clearly in every area of our life. Shocking, right? I'm kidding, but not really. This this lunar eclipse will dissolve what is outdated, whether it's a belief or a relationship dynamic or an old story about what we should be. But this is so that we can clear the way for truly improving our lives. And I know shedding this story can be hard, I get it, but remember that even those who succeed will feel pressure. That's something to remember. Even the most successful people feel pressure. So just because you feel it doesn't mean it's a bad sign. It's about understanding the systems that run our lives so that we can either relieve that pressure or channel it into something great. Because 2 weeks later, on September 21st, it's time for the Virgo solar eclipse at 29 degrees. If Pisces dissolved the illusions, Virgo now helps us to rebuild our life on actually solid ground. And guess what? With that lunar eclipse, we may have a lot of tools to actually do that now. And at the anaretic degree, or 29 degrees, this eclipse is asking for a clear plan and decisive action. The sun and moon of this eclipse will oppose with Saturn in Pisces and Neptune in Aries, confronting us with both our limitations and our illusions in some way. What have we really been avoiding, or where have we been stuck in fear? Where have we been trying to control the small details instead of seeing the bigger picture? We need to confront what we've been avoiding head on, which may feel like a leap, I get it, but it can open us up to solutions we've previously been ignoring, and that's always fun, you know? And then to support that, there's a kite configuration going on in the sky at this time, which tells us a story of opportunities and resources available to us if we just open our eyes, which I know can sometimes be hard because life is rough, but just know that with trines to Uranus and Gemini and Pluto in Aquarius, we're given breakthrough opportunities and the power to transform. This isn't just about small tweaks to our habits that maybe will kind of improve our lives. It's about rewiring how we think, communicate, and design our lives. For some, it could be like a shift in health routines that completely improves their energy, but for others, it's a new way of thinking or working or learning or relating to others that sets them free. Because this eclipse season is not just an ending, but a turning point where what is cleared out will make space for the new start that is ready to be born. And so now that we've gone over the flavor of these eclipses, please go down to the description, find the timestamps for your placements, and let's figure out what these eclipses may mean for you. For my Aries risings, eclipse season is here, and this one is a deep dive for you. It's about trading brute force for strategic inner peace. The first eclipse, a lunar eclipse in Pisces, will light up your 12th house. This is a private behind-the-scenes space, and it's asking you to let go of a powerful illusion that you've always had to be on and fighting. This is a fated release of old resentments, hidden anxieties, or self-sabotaging patterns that have been draining you without you even realizing it. For example, you might suddenly feel exhausted by a grudge that you've held for years and just decide to let it go. Or maybe you have a reoccurring anxiety or a reoccurring dream that could reveal a fear that you're finally ready to face. You might also realize a habit that you thought was harmless is actually a form of self-sabotage and feel a powerful urge to stop. This isn't about giving up, it's about strategic surrender. It's an opportunity to consciously choose which battles are no longer worth your energy. To make this an active choice, try this. Maybe proactively identifying one resentment or fear or self-limiting belief that you're trying to release. Write it down and then safely burn the paper or rip it. I don't want you to burn down your house as a ritual. Offering up this energy to the eclipse. This frees up immense energy for your next chapter. You're learning that your greatest strength is knowing when to let go. And so my advice for you for the Pisces lunar eclipse is to prioritize rest and solitude. Your energy will be best spent in reflection, not action. Engage maybe in water rituals like long baths or spending time near the ocean, or even try starting a dream journal, as your subconscious will be highly active at this time. And to regulate your emotions, practice deep breathing exercises and visualize anxieties dissolving kind of like salt does in water. And I hope that helps. But then going into the second eclipse, which is a solar eclipse in Virgo, it'll land in your 6th house. This is the master of your daily routines, health, and work, and it marks a powerful new beginning. The spiritual insights that you gained during the first eclipse now need to be grounded into practical, tangible actions. You're being given the clarity to implement a transformative new system to your well-being. For example, maybe you have a sudden idea for streamlining your workflow, freeing up hours within your work week. You might discover a new fitness program or a dietary approach that just clicks perfectly with your body's needs. That's another way it can play out. Or maybe there's going to be a mental shift that could occur where you begin to see your daily tasks not as chores, but as acts of self-care. And so your opportunity here is to become the master architect of your daily life. Don't wait for inspiration. Proactively sort of check up on your life for 1 week, tracking down how you spend your time and energy. Where are the energy leaks? This is what you're trying to look for. Use that data to design a new sort of like personal operating system, whether that's a non-negotiable morning routine, a streamlined workflow, or a new meal plan or workout routine. Take what resonates, because the universe is on your side. Leveraging an innovative app or an idea to get an accountability partner can help you make sure that this new, healthier lifestyle will actually stick. And so my advice for the Virgo solar eclipse is to get organized. Clean your workspace, plan your meals, and create a schedule that honors your energy levels. Use this analytical energy to research new health practices, to regulate your thoughts, and then also try focusing on one small manageable change at a time rather than getting overwhelmed with a total life overhaul. And so when you put the two eclipses together, the message is clear. The Pisces eclipse cleanses your subconscious, washing away the invisible burdens that were subtly sabotaging your health and drive. It's an essential surrender for your life. And once that inner space is cleared, the Virgo eclipse gives you a master plan to build a daily life that actively protects and cultivates your newfound peace. You're learning that the most significant battles are won not on the battlefield, but in the quiet moments of releasing what weighs you down and meticulously building the systems that keep you strong. For my Taurus risings, eclipse season is a major moment for you, and it's all about trading a social agenda for genuine creative joy. The first eclipse, which is the lunar eclipse in Pisces, illuminates your 11th house of friendships, future hopes, dreams, society. Take what resonates with that. And it's a time to release a dream for the future that no longer serves you, or lovingly detach from friendships that aren't aligned with your soul's path. You're shattering the illusion that your worth comes from your social circle, or that you must cling to old goals for consistency. For example, you may realize that a long-held ambition was based off of what others expected of you and feel a sense of relief in letting it go. Or maybe a friendship that naturally drifts apart without drama could happen, which creates space for new people to enter. You could also feel a call to leave a group or organization that no longer resonates with your values. And so your opportunity is to become a conscious curator or creator of your future. Instead of letting things drift, take an active role. Review your long-term goals and ask, does this still light me up? If it doesn't, give yourself a ceremony to release it. Write a letter of gratitude to a friendship that has run its course, honoring what it taught you, or proactively reach out to people who inspire you now. This turns a passive experience into an active choice, allowing you to consciously design the community and future that you truly desire. And so my advice for the Pisces lunar eclipse is to reflect on your friendships and goals and ask yourself, does this bring me joy? Does this feel authentic? Connect with friends who feel like soul family at this time. And to regulate emotions, allow yourself to grieve the future that you're releasing. It's okay to be sad about letting go of a dream, even if it's the right decision. But the second eclipse, which is a solar eclipse in Virgo, will be landing in your 5th house of creativity, romance, and self-expression. And so this is a powerful new beginning in finding and expressing your unique joy. You're mastering the art of play. For example, you might suddenly start a new creative hobby, kind of like painting or writing, whatever resonates with you that feels incredibly fulfilling. If you're single, for example, this could change your approach to dating, leading to more authentic connections. But if you're in a relationship, maybe you'll implement a new date night routine that rekindles that spark. You'll find practical ways to make more time for fun at this time. And your opportunity at this time is to create a system for your joy. Don't leave fun and creativity to chance. Maybe proactively schedule it. Block out a time in your calendar for your hobbies, or create a romance budget or a fun fund. By applying your natural talent for building something lasting to the realm of pleasure, you become the master of a joy-filled life. And so my advice for the Virgo solar eclipse is to schedule time for play. Don't wait for inspiration to strike. Start that creative project that you've been dreaming of. Express yourself authentically without worrying about what others think. And to regulate your energy, channel any nervous excitement into your creative work. And so when you put these two eclipses together, you're learning that true fulfillment comes from within, not from external factors. The Pisces eclipse helps you to release the weight of old social expectations and outdated ambitions, clearing the stage of your life. Once you're free from performing for others, the Virgo eclipse invites you to step into the spotlight and create a life filled with personal passion, romance, and authentic self-expression. You're trading a future you thought you wanted for the joyful, tangible reality that you're now ready to build. This is such an exciting time for you. For my Gemini risings, this eclipse season is a deep journey for you from the outside world to your inner world. The first eclipse, which is a lunar eclipse in Pisces, will culminate at the very top of your chart in your 10th house of career and public reputation. You're being asked to release a professional role or a version of success that you hold that no longer fits your soul. This is a fated moment of surrender to a career path that has run its course. For example, you might decide to leave a high-pressure job for one that offers more meaning, even if it comes with less prestige. Or maybe a project at work could come to an end, creating a vacuum that allows you to pivot. Or you may also realize your ambition has shifted from climbing the ladder to making a genuine contribution. So take what resonates with those examples. And so your opportunity is to rebrand your soul's mission. Instead of focusing on what you're losing, though, focus on the space being creative. Proactively start exploring your varied interests without the pressure of monetizing them. This is a time for inspired data collection, if that makes sense. Maybe try starting a possibilities journal, or even like a note on your notepad where you write down every new idea for your life's work. This allows you to consciously step into your role of explorer rather than feeling like you're just this job title that you currently have. And so my advice for the Pisces lunar eclipse is to allow yourself to be seen in your uncertainty. It's okay to not have the next step figured out. Meditate on what success truly means to you beyond money and status. And to regulate your emotions, practice detachment from your professional identity and remind yourself that you are not your job. But then moving on to the second eclipse, which is a solar eclipse in Virgo, this lands in your 4th house of home and emotional foundations. This is a powerful new beginning in how you create a sense of inner security. You are mastering the art of taking care of yourself. For example, you might suddenly decide to move or redecorate or declutter your space to better reflect your inner state. Or maybe a breakthrough conversation with a family member could heal a long-standing issue. You could also implement a new routine at home, like a morning meditation practice, or even just taking care of yourself at the end of the night that provides a deep sense of stability for you. And so the opportunity is to build your personal sanctuary. Your brilliant mind needs a safe castle to operate from. Proactively create a system for your home life at this time. This could mean a new chore chart or a weekly family meeting or a dedicated unplugged time where you turn off all your technology and use your communication skills to heal an old family issue through well thought out conversation. By methodically organizing your inner world, you create the ultimate launch pad for all of your future ideas. And so my advice for the Virgo solar eclipse is to focus on your nest. Create a sanctuary at home that feels safe and nurturing. Spend quality time with family, whether it's of blood family or choice family, who truly support you. Journal about your feelings and your past to gain clarity. And to regulate your energy, ground yourself through either cooking a meal or spending time in a garden or just going on a walk. Take what resonates with that. And so when you put the two eclipses together, you're learning that true lasting success isn't built on external achievements, but on solid, secure, and lovingly tended inner homes that give your brilliant mind a place to rest. The Pisces eclipse helps you to shed a public persona that has become too heavy to carry, and that release creates the necessary space for the Virgo eclipse to help you rebuild your life from the foundation up. For my Cancer risings, this eclipse season is about bringing your grand vision down to earth. The first eclipse, which is a lunar eclipse in Pisces, will be activating your ninth house of beliefs and higher learning. It's a time to release a rigid worldview or a dogmatic belief system that has kept your world small. You're being called to let go of the fear of the unknown and embrace a more expansive truth. For example, you might find that a political or religious belief that you once held firmly no longer resonates. Maybe a book or a documentary or conversation could completely change your perspective on a subject. You might also feel a powerful urge to travel to a place you've never been or sign up for a course that challenges your worldview. And so your opportunity is to become a spiritual adventurer. Proactively seek out experiences that challenge your worldview. Sign up for that online philosophy class or book a ticket to a place you know little about or read a book from a perspective you've always dismissed. The goal is to consciously stretch your container of belief. Start a big questions journal and allow yourself to explore without needing to find a definitive answer. This turns the release of uncertainty into an exciting quest for wisdom. And so my advice for the Pisces lunar eclipse is to be open-minded. Read books and talk to people with different perspectives than your own. If you feel called to it, also explore different spiritual paths or philosophies. And to regulate your emotions, allow yourself to sit with the discomfort of not knowing everything and embrace curiosity as your guide. And then moving on to the second eclipse, which is a solar eclipse in Virgo. This lands in your third house of communication, thinking, and this could rewire your mind for the better. This is a new beginning in how you process information and express your ideas. You are mastering the art of clear communication. For example, you might start a blog or a podcast or a writing project that shares your ideas. You could learn a new skill that opens up new opportunities. Your way of speaking could also shift, becoming more confident and clear. Maybe a conversation you have during this time could be absolutely life-changing. And so your opportunity is to become a powerful messenger. Take your newfound wisdom from the lunar eclipse and find a practical way to share it. You can start that blog, create a workshop, or simply have a structured conversation with your loved ones about your new perspective. Use an innovative platform to share your message and connect with a powerful group or a person or a partner to amplify it. You're not just learning, you're becoming a teacher in your own right. And so my advice for the Virgo solar eclipse is to pay attention to your thoughts and words. Start a journaling practice to clarify your thinking. Take a course or a workshop on a topic that interests you. Engage in conversations that stimulate your mind. And to regulate your thoughts, practice mindfulness, observing your thoughts without judgment. And when you put these two eclipses together, you're learning how to take your newfound faith and translating it into clear, powerful, and practical communications that can change your world. The Pisces eclipse dissolves the rigid beliefs that have limited your potential, opening you up to a universe of new possibilities. But then the Virgo eclipse gives you the tools and the mental clarity to articulate and act upon your new expanded worldview. If you are a Leo rising, then this eclipse season is about reclaiming your power and building a life on your own terms. The first eclipse, which is a lunar eclipse in Pisces, will be activating your 8th house of shared resources, intimacy, and transformation. It's a time to release old debts, whether financial, emotional, or energetic. This is a powerful time to heal from an intimacy issue or release toxic financial ties. For example, you might finally pay off a significant debt, feeling a huge sense of energetic release. Or maybe a power dynamic in a close relationship could be exposed and healed. You also may decide to end a business partnership that is no longer equitable. You'll also feel a powerful urge to reclaim secrets or parts of yourself that you've hidden away. Your opportunity is to stage your own resurrection. This is a powerful moment for deep psychological and financial alchemy. Proactively seek out a therapist or a coach or a financial advisor to help you navigate these complex waters. Maybe perform a cord-cutting ritual to release an old lover or a toxic partner, or maybe create a debt-free plan. And by consciously stepping into this underworld journey, you reclaim your power and emerge not weakened, but transformed and more radiant than before. And so my advice for the Pisces lunar eclipse is to be brave and look into the shadows. This is an excellent time for therapy or deep inner work. Maybe review your finances, especially any shared accounts or debts. Practice energetic cord cutting with people and situations that drain you. And to regulate emotions, allow yourself to feel the full spectrum of your feelings, whether it's grief, anger, or relief, without judgment at all. And then moving on to this second eclipse, which is a solar eclipse in Virgo, this lands in your second house of personal income and self-worth. This is a powerful new beginning in how you build security for yourself. You are mastering the material world with this eclipse. For example, you might launch a side hustle that quickly becomes profitable. You could create a new budget that gives you a deep sense of control and security. Maybe your sense of self-worth could get a major boost, leading you to ask for a raise, and you might get it. You'll find a tangible way to align your spending with your deepest values as well if you use this energy correctly. The opportunity here is to build your personal empire. Take the power you reclaimed in the lunar eclipse and anchor it in the material world. Proactively create a detailed budget and finance plan for the next year. Brainstorm and research one innovative new income stream. Maybe update your resume and ask for a raise, armed with a list of your accomplishments. This is about taking practical, methodical steps to build a financial foundation that truly reflects your worth and creative talents. And so my advice for the solar eclipse is to get clear on your values. What is truly important to you? Create that financial plan or that budget and brainstorm the innovative ways to increase your income. Try practicing daily affirmations related to self-worth and abundance. And to regulate your thoughts, focus on gratitude for what you already have. And when you put these two eclipses together, the message is clear. The Pisces eclipse is a deep cleanse, helping you to release the complex entanglements and shared burdens that have diluted your sovereignty. And once you have reclaimed your power from others, the Virgo eclipse gives you the master plan to build your own empire. You're learning that true security doesn't come from what you share with others, but from the solid foundation of self-worth and the resources that you cultivate and build and create for yourself. For my Virgo risings, this eclipse season is a powerful journey of rediscovery, taking you from a focus on us back to a focus on you. The first eclipse, which is a lunar eclipse in Pisces, will shine a bright light directly on your 7th house of one-on-one partnerships. You are releasing outdated relationship patterns and illusions you've held about others. This is a fated culmination that asks for radical honesty about what you need from another person. For example, you might have a conversation with a partner or a friend or a business partner. Take what resonates with that brings a hidden issue to light, allowing it to be healed or released. Or maybe you could realize that you've been projecting a fantasy onto somebody else and are now ready to see them for who they truly are. But if you're single, which I get it, it's kind of hard in this economy, I guess, to find dates sometimes, but maybe you might find that you're able to release a type that you've been chasing that hasn't been working for you. Your opportunity here is to practice divine acceptance in partnership. Instead of trying to analyze the relationship, your task is to feel into it. Proactively create a space for a nonverbal connection with your partners. Maybe listen to music together, take a walk in nature, or simply sit in comfortable silence. Or for yourself, maybe you can create a relationship release ritual where you write down all of the expectations and ideals that you're ready to let go of. This allows you to consciously embrace compassion over critique, creating space for a more soulful connection. And so my advice for the Pisces lunar eclipse is to practice compassionate communication. Use I feel statements when talking to potential partners. Journal about your needs and patterns in relationships. Be honest with yourself about what is and isn't working. And to regulate emotions, practice the loving detachment technique, which is caring for someone without being attached to their choices or a specific outcome. Moving on to the second eclipse, which is a solar eclipse in Virgo. This is your personal new year. It's an incredibly potent eclipse in your first house of self and identity, and this is a total transformation of your approach to life. You are mastering the art of being you. For example, you might decide to change your appearance, your name, or the way you present yourself to the world. You could launch a personal project or a business that is a true reflection of your skills and passions. You will feel a deep shift in your mindset, maybe from self-criticism to self-acceptance and empowerment, especially if you use this energy correctly. And so the opportunity here is to create you 2.0. This is a cosmic invitation to do a complete personal systems update. Try creating a personal development plan. What is one skill that you want to master? What is one habit that you want to implement into your life? What is one aspect of your personal brand that you want to refine or redefine? This is your personal moment to debut the most refined and authentic version of yourself. And so my advice for the Virgo solar eclipse is to be selfish in the best way possible. Focus on your needs, your goals, and your desires. Start a new personal development practice. Update your resume or professional bio to reflect the new you, or your social media as well. And to regulate your energy at this time, engage in physical activity that makes you feel strong and centered in your body. And when you put these two eclipses together, you're learning that the greatest partnership you'll ever have is the one that you have with yourself. The Pisces eclipse dissolves the fog in your relationships, helping you to release the patterns and projections that have kept you from seeing yourself clearly. And once you are no longer defining yourself through the lens of another person, the Virgo eclipse is your cosmic permission slip to reinvent yourself from the ground up. For my Libra risings, this eclipse season is a journey of healing from the inside out. The first eclipse, which is a lunar eclipse in Pisces, will activate your 6th house of daily work, health, and routines, asking you to release habits that drain your life force. You're shattering the illusion that you must sacrifice your well-being for the sake of productivity or to keep the peace. For example, you might finally quit a job that is causing you chronic stress. You could release a dietary habit that you know is bad for you, or you may decide to delegate tasks at work or home that you've been stubbornly holding onto. You'll feel a powerful desire to simplify your daily schedule. Your opportunity is to design a life of sacred service. This includes service to yourself. Proactively identify the most draining task on your to-do list and either delegate it, automate it, or consciously decide to stop doing it if it's not needed. This is an act of radical self-care. Maybe try to create a dream schedule based on your energy levels, not the clock. The opportunity here is to infuse your daily work with a sense of spirit, asking, how can my work be a form of healing for myself and others? My advice for the Pisces lunar eclipse is to do a health and wellness check. What in your daily life is draining you? What nourishes you? Create a not to-do list as well, and practice saying no to the things that overextend your energy. To regulate your emotions at this time, focus on gentle restorative activities like yoga, meditation, or even walks in nature. But then the second eclipse, which is the solar eclipse in Virgo, will be landing in your 12th house of the subconscious and spirituality. The new beginning for you is happening on a deep internal level. You are mastering the art of surrender and faith. For example, you might start a meditation or a therapy practice that completely changes your inner landscape. Maybe a powerful dream or like a mental realization as you're going to sleep or as you're waking up could provide a solution to a problem that you've been wrestling with. Or maybe you'll feel a call to go on a spiritual retreat or to volunteer for a compassionate cause. You may find a practical way to integrate spirituality into your daily life, especially if you use this energy correctly. The opportunity here is to become a practical mystic. Don't just let your spiritual life be a vague concept. Actually give it structure. Proactively schedule 15 minutes of meditation or journaling into your calendar every single day. It can be at the beginning or the end of the day as well. Maybe create a specific tangible goal for your inner work, such as I will learn about lucid dreaming, for example, or I will find a therapist by the end of the month. And so my advice for the Virgo solar eclipse is to prioritize solitude and reflection. Your best ideas will come when you are quiet. Maybe start a dream journal or a meditation practice and pay attention to the synchronicities and signs from the universe that are playing out around you. And to regulate your thoughts, practice mindfulness and self-compassion and release the need to have it all figured out. And so when you combine the two eclipses' energies together, you're learning that true balance isn't about perfectly managed schedules. It's about creating a rich, orderly inner world that provides unwavering peace no matter the external circumstances. The Pisces eclipse helps you to release the tangible, real-world habits that have been causing you burnout and stress. And once you've cleared away the physical and mental clutter of sorts, the Virgo eclipse initiates a deep spiritual renewal a little bit behind the scenes. For my Scorpio risings, this eclipse season is about taking your personal gifts and sharing them with the world. The first eclipse, which is a lunar eclipse in Pisces, will illuminate your fifth house of creativity, romance, and self-expression. You are being asked to release the fear of being seen and the self-criticism that has stifled your creative impulses. This is a potent invitation to reconnect with your inner child and embrace play and passion for their own sake. For example, you might finish a creative project that you've had on the back burner for years. You could feel a sudden uninhibited urge to dance or to sing or to paint. Take what resonates with that, and maybe you'll let go of the need for your hobbies to be productive. Your opportunity is to stage a creative debut of sorts. This is the time to share your heart's work. Proactively decide to show one person maybe a poem you wrote or the work you created, or post one picture that you took, or sing just one song at karaoke, because the act of sharing, no matter how small, is the key at this time. Maybe in romance as well, the opportunity is to lead with your heart, not with strategy. This conscious act of creative and romantic vulnerability is your gateway to deep joy, even if it's something that's been a little bit guarded because of your past. And so my advice with the Pisces lunar eclipse is to make time for fun. Schedule activities that bring you pure joy with no agenda. Maybe revisit a creative hobby that you loved as a child. You can go on a date as well, wink, wink, either with a partner or just with yourself. And to regulate your emotions at this time, channel them into a creative expression. Maybe paint your anger or write your sadness or dance your joy. But then moving on to the second eclipse, it's the solar eclipse in Virgo, which lands in your 11th house of future hopes and community. This is a new beginning in how you connect with your tribe and manifest your long-term dreams. You are mastering the art of collaboration. Maybe a brilliant idea from a deep, intimate partnership and a powerful shift in your home life will provide the resources for this new vision. For example, you might join a new group or organization that aligns with your ideals. Maybe a collaborative project with friends could actually take off. Maybe you'll launch a social media platform or a community project that has real-world impact, and your long-term goals will crystallize with clarity, especially if you embrace sort of the energy of the month. And the opportunity is to assemble your dream team. Your vision is clear, now you need the right people. Maybe try proactively networking with a specific goal in mind. Don't just collect contacts, seek out collaborators. Create a detailed project plan for one of your long-term goals and present it to a friend or a potential partner. And so my advice for the Virgo solar eclipse is to network with purpose. Actually go after that thing you're dreaming of instead of letting it live in your head. Connect with people who inspire you and share your vision. Brainstorm your big picture goals for the next 5 years. Don't be afraid to share your innovative ideas within a community. And to regulate your energy at this time, surround yourself with supportive and forward-thinking people. And so when you combine the energy of the two eclipses together, you're learning that your personal passion, when shared strategically, can become a powerful force for collective change. The Pisces eclipse will kind of like unravel your creative genius, releasing the fears and the blocks that have kept your light hidden. And once your creative well is full, the Virgo eclipse provides the channels or the plan or the community to share your gifts for a greater purpose. For my Sagittarius risings, this eclipse season is about understanding how your foundation supports your growth. The first eclipse, which is a lunar eclipse in Pisces, will activate your fourth house of home, family, and emotional foundations. It's a time to release old family dynamics or ancestral patterns or emotional burdens from your upbringing. You're being called to let go of what home used to mean so that you can create a new sense of safety and belonging for yourself in the now. For example, you might have a healing conversation that releases a long-held family resentment. Maybe a physical move or a major decluttering of your home could feel like a deep energetic cleanse. You may realize that you've been carrying an emotional burden that isn't yours to carry and consciously decide to put it down. Your opportunity is to redefine what anchors you into reality. Freedom requires a safe haven to return to. Proactively engage in healing your roots. This could mean starting therapy to discuss family patterns, maybe creating a family tree to understand your family history, or simply creating a sacred altar in your home, a healing one at the very least. And the opportunity is to consciously build a foundation that supports your freedom rather than feeling like your past is something that you must always run from. And so my advice for the Pisces lunar eclipse is to focus on nurturing your inner world. Spend time creating a safe and comfortable sanctuary at home. Journal about your childhood and family patterns to gain insights. Set healthy boundaries with family members if needed, and to regulate your emotions, allow yourself to feel and process any grief or sadness that comes up. Comfort yourself as you would a friend because you deserve it. And then moving on to the solar eclipse in Virgo, this will kind of culminate at the top of your chart in your 10th house of career and public reputation. This is a major new beginning in your professional life. You are kind of mastering your craft and stepping into a new level of authority. For example, you could be offered a promotion or a new job that is perfectly fit for your skills. Maybe you'll launch a business or take on a leadership role in your field. You may just also simply realize the path that you want to take within your professional life from an internal perspective. It doesn't mean that something is going to actually crystallize right now, but at the very least, your idea of what you want to pursue will crystallize. And so the opportunity here is to claim your title as the expert. Your broad knowledge is now ready to be refined into mastery. And I know you nitpick your skills. Trust me, you have more skills than you realize. And so proactively seek a leadership role, or pitch a big project, or update your social media profiles to reflect your highest professional aspirations. Don't just have big ideas, create a detailed step-by-step plan to execute one of them. And so my advice for the solar eclipse is to be visible. This is not a time to hide your light. Maybe update your resume, apply for that ambitious role, and share your professional achievements. Take your work seriously and focus on delivering high-quality results. And to regulate your thoughts at this time, focus on your long-term career goals and break them down into practical and actual manageable steps. And when you put these two eclipses together, the message for you is clear. The Pisces eclipse is a deep cleansing rain of sorts for your emotional roots, helping you to release familial patterns that have limited your potential. And once your foundation is secured and healed, that Virgo eclipse will come in and provide the opportunity to grow taller than ever before within your professional life. You're learning that the greatest freedom to soar comes from having strong and healthy roots to launch from. For my Capricorn risings, this eclipse season is a journey of the mind. The first eclipse, which is a lunar eclipse in Pisces, will activate your third house of thinking and communication. You are releasing negative self-talk, rigid opinions, and outdated ways of seeing the world. This eclipse is softening the mind and opening your heart, encouraging you to communicate your feelings and embrace a more intuitive way of thinking. For example, you might find yourself changing your mind about a long-held opinion, or maybe a conversation with a close person in your life could be surprisingly healing. You may also notice that your inner critic is getting a little bit quieter. Your opportunity is to master the art of compassionate communication. Proactively engage in conversation where your goal is to not be right, but to simply listen and understand. Practice speaking from the heart, even if it feels a little bit vulnerable. This is your chance to consciously add intuition and empathy into your powerful intellectual toolkit. And so my advice for the Pisces lunar eclipse is to pay attention to your mental chatter. When you notice negative self-talk, gently redirect it. Practice active listening, seeking to understand rather than to be right. Journal your feelings without censoring them. And to regulate your emotions, try a guided meditation focused on loving kindness, especially to yourself, or even focusing on self-love. And so now moving on to the second eclipse, it's a solar eclipse in Virgo, which lands in your 9th house of higher learning and belief systems. This is a powerful new beginning in how you make meaning of the world. You are mastering your personal philosophy. For example, you might decide to go back to school or enroll in a certification program. Maybe a trip you take could completely change your perspective on life. Or also maybe you could discover a philosophy or spiritual practice that becomes a guiding principle for you. You'll find a practical way to live in alignment with your highest truths. And so the opportunity here is to build your personal study. Don't wait for somebody to come teach you what you want to learn. Become your own expert. Proactively create a curriculum for yourself for the next 6 months on whatever it is you want to learn about. What 3 books or articles online will you read? What documentary series will you watch? What expert are you going to follow? This is about taking a structured Capricornian, I hope that's a word, I say that a lot, Capricornian approach to your own enlightenment. And so my advice for the Virgo solar eclipse is to get curious, read, study, and explore subjects that expand your mind. Plan a trip, even if it's a small one, to a place you've never been. It could even be within your city, like a museum or something. Or maybe talk to people from different backgrounds. Define your personal mission statement. And to regulate this energy, spend time in nature and contemplate the big picture. And when you put the energy of the two eclipses together, you're trading everyday anxieties for a guiding truth that gives you life meaning and direction. The Pisces eclipse acts like a reset button for your mental operating system, deleting kind of like the viruses or negative thought patterns that once plagued you. And once your mind is open and receptive, the Virgo eclipse will download a whole new upgraded worldview, a personal philosophy that is both expansive and practical. For my Aquarius risings, this eclipse season is about redefining your relationship with abundance and power. The first eclipse, which is a lunar eclipse in Pisces, will illuminate your second house of personal finances and self-worth. It's a time to release a scarcity mindset and the illusion that your security comes solely from what you own or your bank account. You are being asked to find your worth within, not with what you own. For example, you might sell or give away possessions that feel energetically heavy, creating a sense of lightness or freedom. Or you could have the realization that you actually do have enough, releasing the constant pressure to acquire more. Your spending habits may naturally shift to align more with experiences and well-being rather than material goods, or you could just increase your self-worth at this time. Your opportunity is to create a soul-based budget. Instead of tracking income and expenses, proactively align your resources with your highest ideals. Choose one cause to believe in and set up a small reoccurring donation, or maybe you can decide to only purchase from ethical brands just for 1 month. And the opportunity is to use your money not as a tool just for survival, but as an expression of your humanitarian values, thereby dissolving the anxiety around it. And so my advice for the Pisces lunar eclipse is to do a check on your values. Write down what is the most important things to you in your life, whether it's freedom or creativity or connection, or it could be money. I don't know, just write it down. But then look at your budget and see if your spending reflects those values. Practice gratitude for the non-material abundance in your life, and to regulate your emotions, repeat affirmations like my worth is not determined by my wealth. But then moving on to the second eclipse, which is a solar eclipse in Virgo, this lands in your 8th house of shared resources, intimacy, and psychological rebirth. This is a powerful new beginning in how you merge with others, both financially and emotionally. You are mastering the art of healthy interdependence. For example, maybe you and a partner, if you have one, might create new, more effective systems for managing shared finances. Maybe you could also feel ready to be truly vulnerable with other people, leading to deep levels of intimacy at this time. But this could also be a powerful time to start therapy, or apply for a loan, or to tackle a complex financial matter with clarity and success. The opportunity is to engineer an intentional blending of energies. This applies to finances, intimacy, or maybe both. And so proactively develop a plan that revamps how you share resources, whether the plan involves another or just yourself, and create a step-by-step plan for using this energy. Use your innovative mind to suggest a completely new way of sharing resources or being intimate. You are the agent of this transformation, and your personal power is the catalyst for creating a more powerful and efficient sense of we, if that makes sense, if you're with another person. Or it can just help you create a more powerful and efficient way of being vulnerable. And so my advice for the Virgo solar eclipse is to be willing to go deep, whether with yourself or others. Have the courageous conversations about shared finances or intimacy and power dynamics. Seek support from a therapist or a financial advisor if needed, and embrace vulnerability as a strength. And to regulate your thoughts at this time, focus on building trust both in yourself and others. And when you put the energy of these two eclipses together, you're learning that true wealth is found not just in what you have, but in what you can intelligently and powerfully build together. The Pisces eclipse will help you to release the personal, financial, or self-worth anxieties that have kept you feeling insecure. And once you feel secure in yourself, the Virgo eclipse provides the clarity and courage to merge your resources and your soul with another in a healthy, empowered, and practical way. And for my Pisces risings, this is your eclipse season. It's a deep journey of identity and relationship sorting, if that makes sense. And the first eclipse, which is a lunar eclipse in Pisces, is in your first house of identity and self, marking a powerful moment of releasing an old version of you. You are shedding a skin or letting go of an identity that has kept you from stepping into your full compassionate power. For example, you might change your name or your style or your entire way of presenting yourself to the world. You'll find yourself setting boundaries that you were previously unable to set. Or maybe you'll feel a deep sense of coming home to yourself, releasing the need to be what others want you to be. Or maybe there's a version of yourself that once got hate and projections from other people, and you're now shedding that old image. Your opportunity is to hold a funeral for your old self and a birthday party for the new one. This is a major moment of personal reinvention. Proactively write a list of all the identities and self-limiting beliefs that you are releasing. And then maybe try writing like a mission statement for the new you. Who are you now and what do you stand for? This act of conscious definition is incredibly powerful for you. The opportunity is to stop being a reflection of your environment and to consciously choose the person you are becoming. And so my advice for the Pisces lunar eclipse is to pay close attention to your own needs. Ask yourself throughout the day, what do I need right now? And then give it to yourself. Spend time alone to connect with your true essence. Write a farewell letter to the old you that you're ready to release. And to regulate emotions, practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness that you so freely give to others. The second eclipse, though, which is a solar eclipse in Virgo, will land in your 7th house of one-on-one relationships, bringing a powerful new beginning. You are mastering the art of partnership. For example, you may enter into a new relationship, whether it's business or romantic. Take what resonates with that, and that will feel grounded and supportive for you. Or maybe in an existing partnership, you could implement a new sort of like rules of engagement that promote better communication and teamwork between you two. You may begin to see your partners more clearly, appreciating their strengths and accepting their flaws. And so the opportunity is to create a partnership service agreement. With the new, clearer version of you, what do you need from others, and what practical support can you offer to others? Proactively have a conversation with any partners you have about your mutual needs and responsibilities. But if you're single, write down a detailed list of qualities and behaviors of the partner that you want to attract in your life, whether it is business or romantic. And so my advice for the Virgo solar eclipse is to define what it is you want in a partner. Make a list of the qualities and dynamics that you are looking for. Practice clear and direct communication, and be willing to both give and receive practical support. To regulate your energy at this time, focus on creating balance in your key relationships. And when you put the energy of these two eclipses together, you're learning that to have the relationship of your dreams, you must first become the person of your dreams. Because the Pisces eclipse is your personal renaissance, helping you to release the identities that weren't truly you and stepping into your authentic self. And once you are secure and clear in who you are, the Virgo eclipse brings the opportunity to build a healthy, grounded, and truly reciprocal partnership with another. If your natal Jupiter is in Aries, then your world expands through courage, initiative, and taking action. You find meaning by starting new things and championing causes with a fiery instinctual impulse. The Pisces eclipse doesn't extinguish your fire, it spiritualizes it, infusing your drive with a higher, more compassionate purpose. The invitation is to release kind of like the need for a perfect strategy and allowing your spirit to be guided by emotional intuition. This means your growth now comes from leading with heart-centered courage, perhaps by launching a venture that serves a vulnerable population, or by taking a personal risk based on a deep feeling of being right or just feeling right. And so the key is to temper your impulse with a moment of reflection, allowing your actions to become a vessel for empathy, not just ambition. With natal Jupiter in Taurus, you find meaning by building, cultivating, and creating lasting security in the tangible sensory world. Your growth is slow, steady, and embodied. Now with the Pisces eclipse, this will wash over your earthy Jupiter placement, compelling you to redefine value and security. The eclipse provides the deep safety needed to release kind of like the Virgo-like attachment to physical perfection and control, suggesting that the true abundance is a state of of grace and flow, not just about what you accumulate. It's a time to invest your resources, whether it's time, energy, or money, into things that build your spiritual foundation, even without an immediate practical payoff. This could look like maybe supporting the arts or spending unstructured time in nature or building a life that feels more peaceful, not just productive, because your growth comes from finding security in the intangible at this time. Jupiter in Gemini expands through relentless curiosity, gathering diverse information and connecting disparate ideas. You find meaning in learning and communicating. The eclipse's nonlinear intuitive energy creates a fascinating bridge between your intellectual and symbolic minds. It directly addresses the shadow of your placement by asking you to release the Virgo need of overanalysis of facts and data. And in its place, you can welcome holistic archetypal wisdom. Your expansion now lies in allowing yourself to know without needing logical proof. This could involve a deep dive into tarot or mythology, or simply shifting your primary question from what are the facts to what is the deeper meaning of the story. And so at this time, your growth lies in letting your intellect be guided by intuition. With natal Jupiter in Cancer, it's exalted in this placement, so your expansion comes through emotional connection, empathy, and creating safe, nurturing spaces. The energy of the Pisces eclipse is deeply harmonious for you, amplifying your natural gifts. The evolutionary goal here is refined. You're called to release the anxious Virgo need for fixing in favor of a compassionate state of being. The grace of this eclipse helps you to trust that your loving presence is more powerful than any intervention. Your role now is to be a sanctuary of faith for yourself and others, or the calm emotional anchor for either your family or your community. And to do this, focus on receiving as much as you give. Allow the universe to fill your own cup so that your compassionate overflow is genuine and effortless. Your greatest growth is embodying unconditional love without attachment to the outcome. With Jupiter in Leo, it's designed to expand through joyful, creative self-expression and generous, heartfelt leadership. You find meaning by shining your unique light and inspiring others with your confidence and warmth. The selfless universal energy of the Pisces eclipse doesn't dim your light, it gives a deeper spiritual purpose. It encourages you to release the Virgo attachment to a flawless performance or the need for constant external approval. Your creativity can now flow from a place of divine connection rather than ego. Your growth plays out by dedicating your creative acts to a higher purpose. Whether you're an artist or a leader or a parent, take what resonates, frame your expression as an offering. This shifts the focus from look at my creation to let's connect through this creation, unlocking your most deepest sense of expansion. With natal Jupiter in Virgo, expansion comes through practical service, detailed analysis, and the refinement of systems. You naturally find meaning in being useful and improving the world in tangible ways, and this eclipse directly illuminates your core challenge as its south node of release is in your Jupiter sign at this time. The Pisces energy provides a fated call to let go of your shadow, which is perfectionism and the anxiety of not being good enough. The eclipse offers immense grace and self-forgiveness, allowing you to see that your service is valuable precisely because it is human and imperfect. Your path to growth is the conscious practice of embracing good enough. Offer help without controlling the outcome. Let a project be complete, even with a few flaws. Your meaning shifts from the mechanics of fixing to the art of healing. With natal Jupiter in Libra, your mechanism for growth is through relationships or diplomacy and the creation of balance in your life. You find meaning by seeing from another's perspective and mediating for fairness. The Pisces energy of unconditional acceptance will resonate with your quest for harmony, asking you to expand your definition of balance beyond a perfect transactional exchange. This eclipse helps you to release the Virgo tendency to get caught up in the details of what is fair, inviting you into a state of grace where compassion is the ultimate justice. Your growth now lies in radical forgiveness within your partnerships. This doesn't mean condoning harm, but releasing the emotional burden of resentment for your own spiritual freedom. And the key is to prioritize connection at this time over correctness. With Jupiter in Scorpio, you expand by courageously exploring the depths of the psyche or embracing transformation and unearthing hidden truths. You find meaning in the raw, authentic processes of life, death, and rebirth. The boundless spiritual energy of the Pisces eclipse resonates deeply here, offering a cosmic context for your personal psychological work. It invites you to release the Virgo need to analytically understand every facet of your trauma or shadow. Healing can now come through grace, not just through grit. This is a time for modalities that emphasize surrender, such as breath work or energy healing, and so allow emotions to move through you without needing to label or control them. Your expansion comes from trusting that by letting go of your personal grip on a wound, that you allow a universal healing power to flow in. With natal Jupiter in Sagittarius, this is where Jupiter's at home, and so your quest for truth, wisdom, and freedom operates at peak capacity. You expand through exploration, higher learning, and constructing a grand life philosophy. The Pisces eclipse, which is also ruled by Jupiter traditionally, invites your quest for truth to move beyond the intellectual and into the spiritual heart. It challenges any dogmatic or rigid beliefs you hold, asking you to release the Virgoan need for your philosophy to be neatly proven. Instead, allow your faith to become a living, breathing, and often paradoxical experience. Your growth lies in finding wisdom in silence or art and the moments that defy easy explanation. And so be open to the truth that whispers rather than what preaches in a very loud way. Your worldview expands the most deeply when you embrace the great mystery that is life. With Jupiter in Capricorn, you expand through disciplined effort, integrity, and building enduring structures. You find meaning by bringing ambitious visions down to earth and creating a legacy of practical achievement. The Pisces energy of surrender and flow will permeate your structured and disciplined Jupiter, not just to dissolve your ambition, but to spiritualize it. The eclipse calls you to release the Virgo need to control every single step of your master plan, encouraging you to trust that a divine architecture underlies your own effort. Your expansion now comes from aligning your ambition with higher purpose. And so before making any strategic plans, ask what is the most compassionate outcome that I can work towards. The trick is to build your empire or whatever it is that you're building on a foundation of faith, not just something that's super concrete, because it will build better if you do this at this time. If you have natal Jupiter in Aquarius, growth happens through the collective, the community, and intellectual innovation. You seek meaning by understanding group dynamics and envisioning a more equitable future. The eclipse infuses your ideas for the future with a potent dose of heart. It calls you to release the Virgo tendency to critique society's flaws from a distance, and instead to participate in the messy, imperfect process of collective healing. Your growth lies in finding the human connection within a system. This could mean shifting from online debates to hands-on volunteering or having conversations to understand someone's emotional reality, not just their political position. And so let empathy be the fuel for your innovative ideas, ensuring the future you envision is not just intelligent, but also kind. With natal Jupiter in Pisces, which is its second home, your natural function is perfectly aligned with the eclipse since it's happening in the same sign, at least the lunar eclipse. And so you are designed to expand through faith, compassion, creativity, and a direct connection to the divine. And the eclipse is a powerful homecoming, a massive affirmation of your worldview. The blending of energies will be seamless. It asks you to finally release any residual Virgo self-doubt or the feeling that your spiritual, non-linear approach to life is somehow invalid. This is your time to dream bigger and trust your intuitive guidance without reservation. Your expansion comes from fully stepping into your role as an artist or a healer or a mystic or whatever role that you decide to take. The only trick you need is to fully believe in the potency of your natural magic, and that is how you can best embrace the eclipse energy. If your natal Jupiter is in the first house, your growth is tied directly to your personal identity, your body, and how you project yourself into the world. This eclipse presents a fated call to release any patterns of self-criticism or physical perfectionism, themes of the Virgo South Node, that have defined you. It provides the self-acceptance needed to dissolve an old persona and embrace a more fluid, compassionate, and spiritually aligned sense of self. The application here is to consciously redefine your identity with grace. This could manifest as changing your style or by simply shifting your focus from what you do to who you are becoming. Your expansion is no longer about forcing a new beginning, but about surrendering to the person that you are destined to be. With natal Jupiter in the second, your expansion is linked to your values, your resources, your finances, or maybe your sense of self-worth. You find meaning by cultivating tangible security. The eclipse's spiritual energy will permeate your value system, recalibrating what you consider wealth. It calls for a release of anxiety around material details and the fear of scarcity, allowing you to align your resources with a more compassionate soul-level purpose. And so practice generosity without expecting a return, demonstrating faith in a universal flow. You might invest in a talent at this time that brings you peace rather than profit. And the goal is to build a life that feels rich in spirit and self-worth, not just in material assets. With natal Jupiter in the third, you expand through communication, learning, or your immediate environment in some way, and the eclipse's intuitive, non-linear energy blends directly with the mechanics of your mind, calling for a release of anxious overthinking and mental loops that you may be stuck in. This opens a channel for compassionate communication and allows you to perceive the sacred symbolism in your everyday life. Your expansion at this time comes through a shift in perception. Listen for the feeling behind the words. Pay attention to the signs and synchronicities that are happening around you. Your words have healing potential at this time, and so use them to express understanding rather than just facts, and that's how you can succeed at this time. With natal Jupiter in the fourth, your growth is tied to your home, your family, your ancestry, or your private emotional world, or you learn very well from sort of analyzing your past. And this eclipse brings a deep healing to your foundations in some way, calling for the release of ancestral patterns of anxiety or criticism, or the burden of family perfectionism in some way. And the eclipse acts as a balm of sorts, helping you to forgive your past and find a sense of spiritual belonging that transcends bloodlines. This is a time for deep inner work. You might literally declutter your home or do healing work focused on your lineage. And the goal is to redefine home as an internal state of grace. And healing doesn't mean that you know everything that happens in your past and why. It's about accepting that you are worthy of that safety no matter what your past looks like. With natal Jupiter in the fifth, you're designed to expand through creativity, joyful self-expression, play, or potentially romance, and in some cases, children. And the eclipse asks you to release the inner critic and the fear of your creation not being perfect or good enough. It provides the emotional safety to be vulnerable and authentic in your expression, shifting from ego-driven creation to soul-driven creation. Your goal now plays out by creating for the sake of connection, not just applause. And in romance, practice unconditional love at this time. The key is to let your inner child lead, trusting that its joy is a direct line to the divine. And so if there's anything that you're looking to pursue at this time that you think can really nourish your soul and bring out your inner child, you are being pushed to do so. With natal Jupiter in the 6th, you expand through daily work, health routines, and acts of service in some way, and the eclipse axis directly activates this house, calling you to embody the highest expression of service while releasing its shadow of perfectionism or being a workaholic or having anxiety around your health or your energy levels, whatever it may be. And this eclipse offers a path to healing through surrender, suggesting that rest is a sacred act and that true well-being is going to be holistic for you. It's a true time to revolutionize your daily life. So consciously scheduled unstructured time into your schedule. Practice mindfulness in your work and listen to your body's wisdom, because your greatest service now is to model compassionate self-care. With natal Jupiter in the 7th, you find expansion through one-on-one partnerships or how you relate to others. You might also learn very easily through others, and you learn about yourself through the mirror of another person. The eclipse's forgiving energy permeates your relationships, calling for the release of criticism or scorekeeping or holding partners to an impossible standard. This will foster a deeper, more spiritual form of harmony at this time. Your growth plays out in your interactions. I'm a Jupiter 7th house person as well, and so you probably learn a lot of wisdom through conversations or learning about, how other people do things. But practice seeing the divine in your partners, especially during conflict. The application is to offer forgiveness freely, both to yourself and others, understanding that perfect relationships don't exist, but sacred ones where fairness and compassion do exist. With Jupiter in the 8th house, your expansion comes through deep psychological transformation, shared resources, and unleashing a sense of intimacy. And the eclipse's theme of surrender resonates powerfully here, providing a spiritual context for your deep work. It calls for a release of the need to analytically control or understand every step of your healing process. The eclipse provides a blessed container, allowing you to trust the transformative process without micromanaging your own psyche. And so lean into this vulnerability at this time. In your personal healing, engage modalities that bypass the analytical mind, whether it's like alchemy or meditation, something where you're not letting your mind really try to take control when it doesn't have to, because the goal is to surrender to the alchemy of healing, trusting that you will be reborn at this time. With natal Jupiter in the 9th house, the house of its own joy, your growth is the expansion. You find meaning through either higher education, travel, philosophy, and the search for a universal truth. And so the eclipse's mystical energy informs your quest, asking you to release any attachment to dogma or the need for your beliefs to be backed by hard data. It provides the opportunity for a direct intuitive experience of the divine that transcends any book or study that you could take on. Your growth now comes from embracing the mystery of life. Explore a mystical path, or travel to a sacred site, or simply let nature be your teacher, and let your worldview be expanded by an experience that gives you a sense of awe, not something that teaches you hard information at this time. With natal Jupiter in the 10th house, you may find growth through career, public reputation, or your long-term ambition, no matter where you are at your career. I know a lot of people with the Jupiter in the 10th house says, I don't have a career, but being ambitious is how you grow. And the eclipse permeates your professional life with a call to a higher purpose, asking you to release perfectionistic ambitions and the fear of public critique in whatever it is that you do. It provides the courage to align your ambition with a compassionate vision, trusting that a more soulful path is your true destiny. This is a time to redefine success and what that looks like for you. And so shift your focus from what you want to achieve to how you want to serve in this world, because that is how your true legacy will be built. And your legacy expands when it becomes a source of healing for others, or it becomes a source of healing for yourself, and it truly resonates with your needs. With natal Jupiter in the 11th house, you expand through community or friendships and your hopes and dreams for the future or society. The eclipse's unifying energy blends with your vision for the collective, calling for a release of any critical, detached views of humanity's flaws. It fosters a deep, heart-centered sense of belonging, not just with your friends, but with the entire human family, because we're all family at the end of the day. And so your growth now plays out through your role in the community. Move from being an observer of the systems that you value to being a compassionate participant within it. It could be through advocacy or through your action. Take what resonates with that. And the key is to infuse your hopes of the future with active compassion, dreaming a dream that includes healing for all. With natal Jupiter in the 12th house, your growth is inherently spiritual and introspective. You expand through the subconscious or dreams and a connection with the unseen. This eclipse is a powerful amplification of your Jupiter's natural function, calling for the final release of any hidden patterns or self-undoing or spiritual anxiety or secret self-criticism. The grace of the eclipse is like a direct line to the divine, flooding your inner world with faith and a deep intuitive clarity. The primary application is to create space for solitude and surrender at this time. And this is a potent time to have dream work or to meditate or to retreat into nature, because your intuition is your superpower. And this is especially a good time to trust it without questions. Your expansion is not an active process. It's more of a receptive one where you have to read it. And so simply get out of your own way and allow the universe to work through you and embrace that message at this time. With natal Neptune in the first, your identity is a canvas for ideals and illusions. It's a porous, chameleon-like sense of self that is creative but can also lead to confusion or misunderstandings of who you are. And this lunar eclipse shines a clarifying light directly upon you, shattering the illusion that you can be all things to all people. The fantasy of a fluid identity is met with the practical reality of needing to be a specific person in the world. Your first step is to release self-criticism about not having a perfect identity and embrace the new dream that your true self is spiritual and your presence can be a vessel for compassion. This may bring a sudden clarity about your personal truth, inspiring you to set firm boundaries for the first time or to make decisive choices for yourself. And a powerful way to ground this energy is through physical practices like dance or yoga, helping you to consciously choose the shape your watery nature will take within this world. If your natal Neptune's in your second house, a veil often uncovers your finances and self-worth, leading to magical thinking about what you own. And so the lunar eclipse's practical light illuminates how you are managing both your internal and external resources, shattering the illusion that it will all just work out without a real plan. And so releasing any shame about past financial mistakes is the essential first step, because the new, more authentic dream is one of spiritual abundance, where your resources are managed with mindful, loving stewardship. This may look like finally creating a budget or confronting a debt or having a stark realization about your earnings or a simple realization about what you're actually worth. And so the tip is to approach your resources as a spiritual practice. Bless the money that comes in and out and create a plan to honor your resources that truly resonates with your soul. With natal Neptune in your third house, your perceptions are colored by imagination, making you an inspired communicator who is also maybe prone to mental fog. And the eclipse's discerning light brings sharp clarity to your words and your thoughts, shattering misunderstandings that you've held or fantasies that you've entertained based on incomplete information. It demands you to distinguish between intuition and projection. Like, let's say you project your fears onto something and you take it as a gut feeling, but it's not actually a gut feeling. And so the new dream is to use your words as a vessel for compassionate, clear, and healing truth. This may look like a conversation where fuzzy subtext is finally brought into the open, and the trick is to practice mindful communication. So before speaking, ask if what you're saying is true, necessary, and kind. And if you want to know how to distinguish between, fear and a gut feeling will almost feel like relieving to your body, even if it's scary, but fear will make you tense up and you'll feel it in your chest. And so that's how you can distinguish the difference at this time. With natal Neptune in the 4th house, this veils your foundations of home or family or emotional foundations in idealism and fantasy. The lunar eclipse shines its clarifying light into this private corner of your life, shattering illusions about your family history or the fantasy of living in a perfect home. This dose of reality calls you to release criticism of your innermost imperfections that stem from your past. The new dream is to create a true spiritual sanctuary, one that is safe precisely because it is authentic to you. This could look like maybe a family secret coming to light or a deep realization about your upbringing. And the tip is to find your spiritual roots, which may differ from your biological ones, and build a foundation based on compassion for the flawed, beautiful reality of your story. With natal Neptune in your 5th house, you project beautiful fantasies onto romance or creativity, leading to idealized love and inspired projects that may never manifest, but that are truly brilliant. And this eclipse brings a reality check into these areas. Maybe the illusions of a flawless fantasy lover is shattered by their very real human imperfections, or maybe a creative dream project is met with the practical, detailed work that it requires. And so the new dream is to find the divine within the imperfect human expression of love and creativity. This looks like seeing your partner clearly for their flaws and all, and choosing to love them, or rolling up your sleeves to finally bring your artistic vision to life. And so ground your love in practical acts of acceptance and your inspiration in tangible craft. With natal Neptune in the 6th house, a fog is cast over your daily routines, health, and work, leading to chaotic schedules or martyr-like approach to service. I have this placement, by the way, and I have things that I have to do throughout the day, but it's so hard for me to start sometimes. That's another way this can play out. And the lunar eclipse illuminates your daily reality, shattering the illusion that you can subsist on inspiration without structure, or that your vague health symptoms will just disappear. And so the new dream is to see your daily life as a sacred practice. This may look like finally getting a clear diagnosis of like any health problems that are happening, or maybe realizing that your selfless service is actually burning you out, which is why your schedule may be a little off whack. And so the trick is to build a schedule that includes both practical duties and sacred ones like meditation and rest. And the eclipse demands that you treat your body as a temple, because your body is what's truly going to help you be of service in this world. With natal Neptune in the 7th house, this means that you may project grand illusions onto your partnerships or have an idea of partnerships that isn't realistic, seeking a savior or a perfect soulmate. And the eclipse's practical light will illuminate the reality of your relationships, shattering the fantasy of a perfect partner who will complete you. And it forces you to see the person who's actually in front of you, or the people that are actually existing in this world, not the projection that you think they will be. And so releasing criticism of any partners or friends' flaws is crucial at this time. And the new dream is to co-create relationships, whether it's romantic or platonic, that is sacred because it is authentic. This could be a liberating realization that a partnership isn't what you thought, or a moment of deep intimacy where you both drop the masks. And so focus on clear, practical communication about needs and boundaries, and really get real about what it is that you truly value in a way that can actually be, exercised within the world. With natal Neptune in the 8th house, this blurs the boundaries of intimacy and shared resources, leading to potential confusion in joint finances and deep psychological mergers. Maybe you got credit card debt, maybe you have a lot of loans, or maybe you just give your intimacy up without really scouting out who you're giving it to. And so the eclipse's clarifying light penetrates those psychic depths, bringing illusions about partners' finances or your own hidden motivations to the surface. And so releasing any shame about what is revealed at this time is paramount. The new dream is a sacred union built on both spiritual trust and practical honesty, whether it's with yourself or others. This could look like discovering a financial secret or having a psychological breakthrough. It is a powerful time to apply radical honesty to your most entangled situations with compassion. With natal Neptune in the ninth house, your worldview is prone to illusion, drawing you to mystical systems that can be a little bit disconnected from reality. The eclipse shines a light of discernment on your belief systems, shattering the illusion that a cherished teacher is flawless or that a grand philosophy holds up to the test of daily life. This challenges spiritual bypassing, and so the new dream is to release the need for a perfect system and embrace a living, breathing spirituality. This could feel like a crisis of faith in some way that ultimately leads to a more authentic connection to the divine. And the tip is to ground your philosophy in practical acts of service at this time, testing your truths against the messy data of life. With natal Neptune in the 10th house, this places a veil over your career, leading to a vague, idealized version of what may feel privately lost. This eclipse brings a powerful reality check to your professional life, shattering the illusion of a glamorous, effortless career with the detailed daily grind required to succeed. It asks, what are the practical steps needed to succeed? And releasing shame about not being further along is key at this time, because the new dream is to find a vocation that is both spiritually fulfilling and practically sustainable. This is the time to get crystal clear on your career goals and the concrete skills needed to achieve them. And so create a detailed practical plan to bring in your professional dream into reality and understand what is actually required to do so. And if something doesn't work out, you can create a plan A and a plan B, and to know if it resonates, really listen to your inner guidance. With natal Neptune in your 11th house, you idealize friendships or social groups or even society in some way, seeing them as the perfect soul family or seeing it as, it's going to get better soon, which can lead to painful disillusionment. And so the eclipse shines a practical light here, shattering the illusion of a perfect tribe without conflict. You are forced to see your friends or community as complex, imperfect humans. And so releasing criticism of their flaws is essential at this time. And the new dream is to build an authentic community that is bonded by compassion. That doesn't mean letting people bulldoze you over, but it means having compassion for the things that let's say if you did it, you would want people to give compassion for you. It's about true empathy within your community. And this could look like maybe a painful falling out or a beautiful moment of authentic connection where everyone drops their masks. And so ground your utopian dreams in practical, local, and helpful community action, and really understand what makes somebody human versus what makes them, not a good fit for your circle. With natal Neptune in the 12th house, you are deeply sensitive to unseen realms. You could be a little psychic in some way, but this can lead to escapism or a subtle illusion of martyrdom. And so the lunar eclipse brings the light of consciousness into this hidden psychological space, shattering any way that you have been unconsciously sabotaging yourself. It illuminates hidden sorrows and self-deceptions, asking you to release any martyrdom or self-criticism or being too hard on yourself, even from a subconscious place. The new dream is one of conscious, empowered connection to the divine or the unseen. This may feel like a sudden insight from a dream or a meditation, or maybe a fated moment to take compassionate responsibility for your own well-being. And the most powerful practice is rigorous psychic hygiene, if that makes sense. So do daily meditations, cleanse your energy, and consciously set boundaries so that you can become a conscious channel, not just a psychic sponge in a way that drains you. With Mercury in Aries, your mind is built to be fast and direct. For you, thinking is basically a form of action. And during this solar eclipse, however, the energy might feel like it's forcing you to pause, like hitting a sudden, frustrating red light on the highway. You'll likely still get some good ideas at this time, but you may now feel a new insistent need to think about the details before you act. For example, you might have a sudden urge to quit your job, but this energy forces you to look at your savings account and update your resume first. Or maybe you get an impulse to start a business, but find yourself spending a whole day researching logistics and costs instead of just announcing the launch. And so the best outcome is that you become powerfully effective at this time because your great ideas are now supported by a solid plan. But the flip side is that you might get so frustrated by slowing down that you lose steam and drop your best ideas. Ultimately, this eclipse is teaching you how to aim before you fire, making your brilliant impulses truly count. With natal Mercury in Taurus, your way of thinking is like a careful builder. You process ideas slowly to make sure every piece is solid, and with the solar eclipse, the energy feels slow and steady. Think of it like somebody pointing out that a trusted habit that you've had for years just isn't working as well as it used to. This could look like maybe sticking to an old recipe only to realize a new technique could make it taste better and save you time. Or perhaps you've always managed your files or like your work material a certain way, but now you see with total clarity how a new digital system could prevent things from getting lost. This might start you on the slow task of taking apart something familiar to build something better. This could lead to a major upgrade in your practical skills, helping you create new routines that get better results with less effort. Or it's possible you'll resist the change, preferring the comfort of what you already know. And so the key is to focus on the tangible benefits of a new approach, trusting that better methods can lead to more security in the long run. With natal Mercury in Gemini, your mind is naturally curious, always making connections by gathering lots of different information at once. The solar eclipse could bring a clarifying, narrowing energy, like a spotlight suddenly turning on in a crowded room. It's a call to focus. In your daily life, this might feel like having 20 browser tabs open, but suddenly having the urge to close 19 of them to actually finish one article. Or it could be that you're known for knowing a little bit about everything, but now you feel a pull to finally sign up for that one certification course to become a real expert at a single thing. You might feel a strong urge to stop chasing new information and instead sort through what you already have. This could lead to you becoming a real specialist in something. The tricky part, though, is that you might feel overwhelmed by the need to choose and keep jumping between topics, learning a lot without much deep understanding. And so by choosing to go deep on one thing, you can turn your vast curiosity into a truly valuable asset. With Mercury in Cancer, your mind works through feeling and memory, instinctively collecting anything new to a past experience. This solar eclipse could bring a dose of just the facts energy, which might feel like a little sterile or cold at first. It may push you to separate what's actually happening in a situation from the feelings and memories you have about it. For instance, a friend might cancel plans, and your first feeling is a familiar sting of rejection from your childhood. This energy helps you to see the simple fact that they may just have a headache today, or maybe they don't really feel like it, and that's okay. Or maybe a boss's feedback may sound a little bit critical, but the eclipse helps you to filter out your emotional reaction and just hear the practical, helpful advice. This could bring a powerful new clarity, helping you make clear-headed choices while still trusting your gut. The other possibility is that you could push back against the facts and retreat into familiar feelings, even if they're not telling you the whole story anymore. So learning to see the facts clearly doesn't diminish your feelings. That's what you have to remember, because it gives your powerful intuition an even stronger foundation to stand on. With natal Mercury in Leo, you think in a big, expressive way, organizing information around a central belief to create a clear and powerful message. The solar eclipse might act as like a fact checker, bringing a demanding, detail-oriented energy to your story. It may highlight any area where your confident message isn't backed up by the facts. For example, you might passionately declare your plan to renovate the kitchen, only to have your partner or your family ask for a specific budget which you haven't considered. Or you might present a big idea at work, feeling great about the vision, but then realize you don't have the data to support your claims when your boss asks. And so the opportunity here is to make your ideas not just inspiring, but truly solid and effective. The risk, however, is that you might take this need for details as a personal criticism and ignore the very information that would make your vision stronger. And so this is your chance to build an unshakable foundation for your creative vision, making it both brilliant and believable. With natal Mercury in Virgo, your mind is in its element here, naturally working with precision to take things apart, find flaws, and figure out how to improve them. This solar eclipse could feel like a supercharged, almost obsessive energy that gives your natural talents a huge boost. It may highlight a key area of your life, whether your health, your work, or your schedule, that needs a serious fix. This could manifest as finally creating the perfect detailed workout and meal plan to solve a health issue that you have, Or at work, you might suddenly see the flaw in a workflow that's been slowing everything down and feel an intense need to redesign the whole process. Your ability to analyze and improve things could be turned up to full volume. This could lead to revolutionary improvement in that area. The downside, though, is that this intense focus might cause you to get lost in the tiny details or become overly critical of yourself and others. And so the challenge is to channel this powerful diagnostic energy towards what matters most, creating meaningful change instead of chasing perfection. With natal Mercury in Libra, your mind works by weighing and balancing, always looking for the most fair and harmonious solution. This eclipse might introduce a firm, pragmatic, or practical energy that puts a heavy new focus on what's truly feasible. And so you may be tasked with finding a solution that is not only fair, but also works best in the real world. For example, when planning a group trip, the fairest option might be a destination that's equal travel time for everybody, but the practical option is the one with the cheapest flights. Or you might want to find a diplomatic way to divide chores, but then realize that the most effective solution is for the person who is best at the task just to do it. This can help you get really good at making sophisticated decisions. The risk is that you might get stuck, unable to choose between what is fair and what is practically required. This is a chance to add a new tool to your mental toolkit, learning to honor both harmony and effectiveness. With natal Mercury in Scorpio, your mind is an investigator, always looking past the surface to understand what is really going on. This solar eclipse might bring in unexpectedly bright and clarifying energy to your mind, asking you to use that same intensity on the simple surface level stuff. You might have been deeply analyzing the complex psychological reasons for your procrastination, for example, only for this eclipse to reveal the simple truth. Maybe your desk chair is just uncomfortable, or your office is cluttered, which overwhelms you. Or maybe you've been focused on the hidden power dynamics in a team project, for example, when the real problem is that the shared calendar just isn't updated correctly. This could help you to combine your deep insight with practical action. The risk is that you may dismiss the simple solution as too simple because you're so used to digging for a deeper answer. And so this period teaches that sometimes the deepest truth is the one hiding in plain sight. With Mercury and Sagittarius, your mind is like a map maker seeing the world from 30,000 feet, focusing on the big picture. This solar eclipse might bring a boots on the ground type of energy, forcing you to zoom in on the details. This could be pushed to check if the reality on the ground matches the big map that you've drawn out in your head. For instance, you might hold a strong belief about a political issue, but this energy pushes you to read the specific details of a new law and see if it truly aligns with your philosophy. Or, for example, you may have a grand vision about a trip around the world that you want to make, but now you find yourself meticulously researching visa requirements and daily budgets. This can help you build truly reliable beliefs, making your big ideas usable in the real world. But the danger is that you might feel the messy details ruin the beauty of the big picture and then decide to just ignore them. And so integrating the details doesn't shrink your vision. This is something that you need to remember. It gives the solid ground that makes your dreams or your ideas become a reality. And so this is something to remember at this time. With natal Mercury in Capricorn, your thinking is structured and strategic, always focused on the long-term plan. And during this eclipse, you may feel a detailed, process-oriented energy that shifts the focus from your master plan to your daily routine in some way. It might highlight an inefficiency in your daily work that's slowing you down. This could be as simple as realizing that your morning routine is out of order and costing you 15 minutes, or noticing that your weekly team meeting is poorly structured and wastes everybody's time. The focus moves from the final destination to the quality of the daily journey in whatever it is that you're doing. This could actually help you to reach your long-term goals so much faster. But the risk is that you might get frustrated when the messiness of daily life doesn't match perfectly with the clean lines of your plan. And so this is a chance to remember that even the grandest buildings are built on one solid, well-placed brick at a time. With Mercury in Aquarius, your mind works from a high-level detached perspective, seeing the patterns that connect a whole system. This solar eclipse could introduce a grounding, humanizing energy that forces you to see how your big ideas work on a personal scale. For example, you might design a perfectly logical new chore system for your family, but the eclipse will provide direct feedback that doesn't account for someone's exhaustion after a long day, or for the practicality depending on schedules. Or maybe you'll have a brilliant idea for an app or a social cause that you want to work on, but you're pushed to talk to the actual people who would use this platform and see that your design is actually confusing to people. This can help you become a true innovator who designs systems that also work for the people. But the risk is that you might stay detached, frustrated that unpredictable people won't conform to your logical pattern. And so the ultimate challenge is to bridge the gap between the ideal pattern and the real people it's meant to serve. Take whatever that resonates in your life, obviously. With natal Mercury in Pisces, your mind is intuitive, absorbing feelings and unspoken ideas like a sponge. This eclipse may provide a gentle but firm structuring energy, like giving you a set of tools to organize your rich inner world. Maybe an urge could arise to put your intuitive feelings into clean form. This may look like taking that vague, beautiful melody in your head and finally learning the music software to record it. Or it could be that you finally find the precise words to explain a subtle gut feeling to your partner, making them feel understood in a new way. This could lead to an incredible creative breakthrough for you, but the danger is that you might shy away from this process, feeling that giving things structure will somehow make your inner world less magical. But think of it as building a sturdy channel, not a cage, allowing your beautiful inner world to flow out and truly be shared in a way that's effective. If your natal Mercury is in the first house, the focus here is on your personal brand and how you come across. The solar eclipse may bring a very self-aware, clarifying energy to this area of life. You could start to analyze how you present yourself with fresh eyes, perhaps noticing that you sound hesitant or that your body language seems uncertain. Or maybe you'll see the gap between who you feel you are versus how you're perceived. This opportunity is a total reset on how you present yourself, making you far more effective. The risk, though, is that you may become overly self-critical and self-conscious at this time. But remember that the goal isn't perfection, but simply closing the gap so that you can show up in the world in an honest way that truly reflects who you are inside. With natal Mercury in the second house, this solar eclipse shines a bright light, maybe even uncomfortably, honestly bright light on your finances. You might feel pushed to do a full review on your money, your possessions, and your sense of security or self-worth. This could mean finally sitting down to create a real budget and being surprised at where your money actually goes. Or you might also take a hard look at your possessions and realize that you have a closet full of clothes that you never wear, prompting a major decluttering session. The best case scenario is a brilliant overhaul of your financial life and an improved self-worth. But the pitfall is that this intense focus could lead to anxiety, making you feel like you never have enough. Ultimately, this is a chance to build real security by making sure your resources are supporting the life that you truly want to live. With Mercury in the third, this eclipse may target your immediate world with a powerful decluttering energy. Your schedule, commute, and daily information overload could all come under review. This may look like finally organizing your computer's desktop, maybe unsubscribing from a bunch of junk emails, or finally noticing that your daily commute isn't efficient and finding a better route. You may also reread an old email chain and see exactly how a simple misunderstanding with somebody that you've been communicating with just started. And so the opportunity is a life that feels significantly less chaotic as you streamline your routines. But the risk is that you become nitpicky or overly critical of others or yourself, causing friction. But by cleaning up these small daily details, you can free up a surprising amount of mental energy for the bigger things in life. With Mercury in the fourth house, the solar eclipse energy might feel like a deep dive into the very roots of your life. This likely won't be a loud or dramatic energy for you, but perhaps a quiet, persistent hum of awareness that draws your attention inward. You might find yourself analyzing how your home life actually runs, from inefficient chores to unwritten emotional rules in your family or realizations about your past. You could see with perfect clarity that a certain reaction is an old inherited pattern. The potential here is huge. You could make your home life more peaceful by changing old emotional habits, but the risk is getting stuck in just analyzing the past without a plan for the future. But remember, this is a powerful time to build a more conscious and peaceful foundation, both in your home and within yourself. With Mercury in the fifth house, the focus is on your hobbies or romance or everything you do just for fun. The eclipse could bring a disciplined, skill-building energy to this playful area of life. This may create a shift from just expressing yourself to getting better at the craft of it. This could mean that instead of casually playing guitar, you could decide to finally learn music theory. Or maybe in your dating life, you might move from just seeing what happens to getting really clear and articulate about what you're looking for in a partner. You could make huge leaps in your creative abilities, but the potential pitfall is that this serious energy might drain the fun out of it, making your hobby feel more like a chore. The challenge is to embrace skillfulness as a way to deepen joy, not to replace it. With Mercury in the sixth house, the focus is on either your job, your health, or your daily routines and schedules. During this solar eclipse, you could feel a powerful optimizing energy, creating a supercharged drive to improve everything in your life. In a practical sense, this could be the week that you finally meal prep for your lunches to eat healthier, or you might reorganize your work calendar with color coding to make sure that it's more efficient. You might see every little inefficiency with a glaring clarity and feel a real push to fix things in your life. The opportunity is a life that runs with efficiency and where you get plenty of rest and a remarkable improvement in your overall well-being. But the risk is potential burnout from becoming so obsessed with perfection. So watch out for that, because the goal is sustainable improvement, not stressful perfectionism. With natal Mercury in the seventh, the focus here is likely on your significant one-on-one partnerships or your idea of partnerships and how you relate to others. The solar eclipse could bring clarifying energy to these bonds or your idea of bonds that prompts a careful review of communication and unwritten rules. This could manifest as a calm conversation with your spouse or a friend about how you'll split holiday duties this year, or it might be you and a business partner finally creating a clear written document that outlines each person's responsibilities to avoid future confusion, or it may just show up as you setting boundaries where it's necessary. The potential is to dramatically improve how your most important relationships work, but the risk is that this analytical energy can feel cold or critical to a partner, and so approaching these conversations with care is key to building stronger, clearer partnerships at this time, or to set firmer boundaries. With Mercury in the eighth, this eclipse may target shared finances and the deep psychological connections that you have with other forces in the world. A bright, revealing light could shine into these often hidden waters, creating a powerful need to get organized about it. This could be the time that you finally sit down with a partner to consolidate your student loans into a single clear payment plan, or psychologically you might identify a hidden pattern, like a tendency to lend money to friends, to feel needed, or a tendency to spend when you don't need to spend. And you may just decide to create a new, healthier boundary for yourself when it comes to how you give yourself away. The result can be a deep sense of empowerment as you bring order to complicated areas of your life. But the danger is that you might become obsessive or use this sharp mental energy to try to and control things rather than heal things. This is about using clarity to create empowerment and trust in your life. With Mercury in the ninth house, the focus will likely be on your bigger picture philosophies. This eclipse could bring a walk the talk energy, challenging you to get practical about your big ideas and see if your daily actions really align with your beliefs. For example, you may believe strongly in supporting local businesses, but a quick review of your credit card statements show mostly big box store purchases. You may also have a long-held dream of going back to school, and this energy pushes you to stop dreaming and start actually researching programs and application deadlines. And so the opportunity is to become someone who truly lives in their values, but the risk is potential disillusionment if you find your beliefs and actions don't really line up. But this is a chance to build a stronger worldview by grounding your ideals in reality. With Mercury in the 10th, the focus is on your professional life and how the world sees you. This solar eclipse could trigger a strategic energy, prompting a review of your entire career path. You may notice that your LinkedIn profiles or social media profiles are out of date, or that your resume is not well written for the jobs that you actually want. But you may also analyze your communication style within your work and realize that you need to be more direct. You could feel an urge to sharpen your professional tools at this time, and this can lead to a significant step forward in your career. But the pitfall is that you could become overly critical of your progress, which could lead to anxiety and feeling like you're not good enough. This is essentially a time for professional refinement, not self-criticism. Whether you're already working your dream job or whether you don't know what to do, this will be a great compass to help you know where to go next. With natal Mercury in the 11th, this eclipse may inspect your connection to your community and your long-term dreams. It could bring a practical, discerning energy to your social circles. This might mean looking at your calendar and realizing a weekly social commitment is draining you more than it's energizing you. You may also look at a big dream, such as writing a book, and feel a push to break it down into the first practical steps. Maybe it looks something like write 500 words every Saturday morning. Take what resonates with whatever big dream that you have. And so the potential is to refine your social life and create a real workable plan for a lifelong dream. But the risk is becoming cynical or getting so bogged down in the details that you lose your inspiration. And so the key at this time is to make your dreams and friendships more efficient. Make them work better for you and your goals. Don't make them less magical. This is not what will be happening if you make this change. With natal Mercury in the 12th, the focus is on the most hidden parts of your life, your subconscious habits and self-sabotaging patterns. This solar eclipse may bring a rare, piercing beam of consciousness or analytical light into this inner world of yours. Maybe a self-defeating pattern that you've had for years might suddenly become crystal clear. You could see the precise inner workings of how you get in your own way. For instance, you might realize that every time you get close to major success, you mysteriously get too busy and miss the deadline. Or you might notice that you have an automatic negative inner voice that criticizes you in exactly the same way that your parent used to. And so the opportunity here is for deep healing, because making a hidden pattern known allows you to finally change it, which can change your entire world. So be gentle with yourself at this time, as looking into these hidden corners is a brave and valuable work that deserves no shame no matter where you are in life.